So I had a pretty powerful faith moment today that I felt like I just needed to share about Mary and Martha. So in Luke chapter 10, Jesus goes to see Mary and Martha. Mary is at Jesus' feet, listening to every word that he has to say. And Martha is cleaning the house. And Jesus finally goes, "Martha, come on, come out and listen to me. I'm only here with you for a little bit of time. This matters more than cleaning the house." And then a while later, Lazarus gets sick, and Jesus is away, and Mary and Martha send word to Jesus, "Hey, Lazarus is sick. Come help him. We know you can." And what does Jesus do? He doesn't come. And Lazarus dies. And finally, a few days later, Jesus shows up. And who comes out to see him? Not Mary, Martha. Martha comes out to see him and says, "Lord, if you would have been here, our brother wouldn't have died." And Jesus says, "Go get your sister." And Martha comes to Mary and says, "Jesus wants to talk to you." And Martha gets up right away and goes to Jesus. And the way it's a lot of times read is Mary comes to Jesus and says, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died." But the question that I have for you is, why didn't Mary come in the first place? And the answer, I believe, is that Mary's mad. Mary's hurt. Mary says, "I called for you, God. I called for you, Jesus, and you didn't come. You could have saved my brother, and you didn't." And how I think the conversation went down is when Mary gets there, she says, "You could have saved him, and you didn't." So then what does Jesus do? Jesus is sad. Jesus is hurt. Some translations even say Jesus is angry at the pain that's caused to Mary and to Martha. And then what does he do? He does what he was going to do all along. He raises Lazarus from the dead. Mary and Martha had to go through the pain so that other Jews would believe. Because even when they were upset, they still believed. They still had unwavering faith. They were sad, they were upset, but they still believed. And so sometimes when we go through struggles, when we have bad things happen in our lives, it's not that Jesus has abandoned us. He's got a bigger plan. And if Mary and Martha hadn't experienced the pain, then many of the Jews that were there with him when he raised Lazarus from the dead may not have ever believed. Because the miracle that Jesus did and the faith that Mary and Martha still had is what may have brought those others to faith. When we're going through hard times, it's not that Jesus has left us. It's that he may just have a bigger plan. And your faith through hard times will be a shining light to others.